do this. We
Okay,
do
now you
the
can say poop dick.
we do the shenanigan before the live so that they can't hear us say poop dick.
Exactly. God.
Oh, and then we can laugh about it and be like,
We're
We know
live and
something
you
they
don't
don't.
know. Also, hello, internet. We're live.
Hello, and welcome to another Mistadventure. See, people don't know where the Misadventure is, and so like I make this mist pun that doesn't really hit because we've been these.
No, inside
Anyway.
jokes are the
They
best.
will know.
But we're
They
here
will
for
know.
the adventure. We didn't miss the adventure. That's what. That's
Oh,
why.
Steven.
That's my
That,
first read.
that was the missing pun.
Welcome, greetings, salutations.
He doesn't
to
have the
all-
foggiest.
To all of our viewers, to our Mistwarden Shroud campaign, episode 5. Been a holiday break. It's been a little while. We're excited to get back together and play some games. If you haven't seen any episode up to this point, feel free to check out our Chronicles of Misadventure YouTube channel, and which maybe you're already watching right now. And if you haven't seen all the episodes, that's fine. Just jump into the ride with us in the middle. It's fine.
You didn't miss anything.
Barely anything. So,
almost entirely nothing.
these are our misadventures. Thank you for joining me, misadventures. Let's go ahead and just say hi to our viewers. Let's go around and do quick introductions. I'm very eager to like jump in, so I think we're gonna keep these introductions short so we can mostly get focused into our characters. So, with that being said, Sully, why don't you just tell us your name, who you're playing tonight?
I'm right, and I'm playing Sully.
Love it.
What class are you, Sully?
I'm Paladin,
Hmm.
but the bad kind. I'm the bad kind of Paladin.
Bad guy.
Bad kind of
Yeah.
paladin. Olin.
That's me. Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm Ennui Poet, E-N-N-U-I-P-O-E-T. I'm playing Olin, who is a Horizon Walker Ranger.
We love to see it. Buster.
Hi, I'm Steven, also known as Funk on the internet. I am playing Buster K. Slyfoot, the Rabbitkin Twilight Cleric. I remembered. He is very thick Russian accent.
One man's borscht
Beautiful.
is another man's treasure.
Rosemary.
Oh, hi. I'm Swear14, also Sam. It's on the box. I'm playing Rosemary, the mostly human fighter.
And last but not least, Tobias Boone.
Hello, my name is William Pope, and I am playing Tobias Boone. He is your resident, charismatic, friendly shadow assassin, Sorlock.
Beautiful.
Thank
We
you.
find our heroes, last we left off, had made their way to the city of Martira Bay after fleeing a zombie attack on the manor where they were staying the night. And they're staying at the Vashon guest house here at the Bay before some of our heroes went exploring the city, looking for ways to make contacts among the common folk before they were set upon by one of the many serial killers that seemed to be stalking the Bay, the Spider. After a quick battle and also seeing a line of ghosts heading towards the exit of the city, heading towards the south, our players kind of converged at this fight, managed to apprehend the Spider and bring him back to their guest house, where they fell asleep. And then the dreams began.
Wait, you took away our fun music.
Not jaunty anymore. What's wrong?
Are our dreams not jaunty?
You find yourself standing in what appears to be a throne room of sorts. Though this throne room stands out in a number of ways. You're standing in a semicircle around a throne on a raised dais. This throne, carved out of like obsidian. Sitting on the throne is a figure, pale skin, long red hair, uh, a small black crown, uh, in the shape of like thorns on the side of it, sitting on his head. And this figure is staring up at the sky. And as you all look up, you can see that there is no ceiling to this throne room. It seems to have been ripped up as this golden light straight above you is shining down, casting a bright light inside of this throne room. There's a bit of chaos as you see several people running around, screaming, trying to like escape this throne room, but not you. You feel a sense of calmness with just a bit of dread behind that. You stare at the figure who's staring up at the light, and you can kind of see this little gold tether, actually several small ones, coming off of this figure as he turns his eyes towards you. And you notice, like, as he blinks his eyes, they stand out a little bit in that they are, the eyelids seem to be inverted. When he blinks, they are from, like, the left and right side instead of top to bottom. And he kind of, like, blinks at you a couple of times and says, "You're too late. The end is here. I will be free, and you cannot stop it." What do you do?
I'm gonna ask the question I'm sure is on everyone's mind, and this is out of character. Is this bitch Theron?
Yes, you would recognize this figure. You've had previous dreams.
Hi, man.
God damn it! I knew
I'll
we should have
say-
killed him.
I will say it does appear to be Theron, which is, for those at home, our players did have a dream about this figure before they came to Darkon. You had a dream that felt almost like a premonition of him standing in a field with flames behind him. And you had the sense that he would either be helping to, like, douse the flames, or he was the cause of the flames, and it was very unclear in this first dream. But this is your second dream that you're having about this strange figure that you know has some history with the Mistwardens, but for the most part, you don't have much information on.
Is this like, are we having like a collective unconscious thing right now?
Yeah, are we ourselves all witnessing the same thing?
Are we all standing together, or are we all standing there individually alone in our own dream?
All great questions. You look around and see
the
your
consciousness that is currently aware would be the one that is normally awake, right?
Huh?
That was really worded weird, and I hope John gets what I meant.
You all look around and you see your compatriots standing here.
How many?
There's 6 of you, like there have always been.
No.
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 Fuck, describe all of them.
Why?
I don't remember my friends.
5 of them, which come to you very clearly. The 6th seems a little foggy in the dream, as if you can't quite remember what they look like. And all of you are kind of standing in a semicircle in this throne room around the throne itself, as this Theron-appearing figure glances around. And everybody give me perception checks real quick.
Oh, I love to give you a perception check.
My
How dare you,
specialty.
Chris?
Oh shit, ignore the
hell?
disadvantage. I don't know why that's on. 24.
Does that mean mine is 19 or is it 10?
It's 19. Well, yeah, we take the
Yeah.
when you're doing the roll 2, we take the first number to be.
I
Okay.
should not have had disadvantage on. That was an accident.
How do I turn that off?
11. Why is my...
There's an option to toggle advantage, which is under the cog, and it's like the second option down on the right.
Okay.
Congratulations on your natural 20.
Oh shit, that's a nat 20!
It is, yeah.
That is not 20.
Oh my god, that's my
Beautiful
first nat
rolls.
20!
Let's go.
Sorry.
Nice job, Rosemary.
I will bring that energy down.
Each of you notice that, like, as you're looking around your compatriots, they're wearing garb that does not, like, looks right, but does not. It looks like everything is a little more worn. There's some things that they, like, were not wearing that morning, or as far as you remember. There's just something, like, a little off about each of your compatriots as you look around. You also notice Tobias's shadow is all of your shadows are kind of behind you as this golden light shines down, except for Tobias's shadow, which goes directly towards the throne and like connects to Theron's shadow.
That's pretty good.
Connects.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious?
Their shadows are just in love.
We should not get in the way of this.
Love is love.
Theron looks at each of you in turn, though his eyes rest on Rosemary at the last and settle there. And he says, he smiles, and he says, I'm actually going to do Theron's accent because I didn't do it at first.
I haven't heard
Thank
it in
you.
so long.
Thank you. If I couldn't have done this without you, Rosemary. Or
Gosh.
should I say? And then you feel the dream about to fall away. Each of you have time to look for something or gather some clue or say something to try and get a response from this figure. What do you do before you are pulled from the stream?
I sent John a quick message.
Is that a free action?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say,
Drinking this alcohol too quick.
It's the straw.
well, I'm finally glad that we put a face to a name there. You know, if you need our help, then we're gonna have to find you eventually. So you might as well just go and tell us where you are now, and save us a lot of trouble along the way, huh?
Okay, I have a follow-up question.
All right. He pulls his view from Rosemary for a moment to answer this question. You can like feel yourselves being slowly, your consciousness being slowly tugged away from this body. He looks confused at you and grins and says, Tobias, you really don't recognize me, even now.
I gotta say, you look a little bit familiar, but it's not quite ringing a bell.
He kind of grins and says, I probably look like death right now, which is not my usual. And he laughs as if he's like made some like very witty joke.
Okay. I have what I'm going to do, but I want other people to go first.
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell me where we met before, hey?
Here, you've You've asked your one. You kind of got your action out of the way. I'll say you will answer.
Do I start like fading away? Just
Yeah, he says, "Well, I suppose we first met," and then Tobias is ripped away from this moment. You all still see Tobias there, his shadow connecting to Theron. Though now when Theron like looks at each of you, Tobias seems to like when he looks at you, Tobias looks at you. When he speaks, Tobias's lips move as if in mimicry.
I would like to try. I would like to go to our 6th party member and stare into their faceless void and try and identify them.
Ooh. I love it. Give me a check here. Let's go with perception.
Okay. I'm gonna use my inspiration and give myself advantage. Just for fun.
Okay.
If it please the court. It's pretty good. 25. You
Pretty
Love
good.
it.
You can whisper me if you want. That would be fun too.
Would you rather I whisper?
I think it's more interesting.
I kind of like that idea.
Rude.
As much as I want to
That is
know,
so
I
mean.
like not knowing.
I'm
That is
sitting
so
here trying to
mean.
figure out what to do. And
I
you
rolled-
take this
I-
from me?
I rolled a 25, so I get to choose.
Rude.
Who
Yeah.
gets to
So
know?
you
Me.
choose. Okay. I'm going to say this figure, their face like after a moment becomes clear to you.
Oh man. Terrifying. I knew this shit was gonna happen.
I love this.
Don't look at the stream. Spoilers.
Oh,
I refuse to look.
yeah, I forgot you're streaming. I
Oh,
just
you have it?
messaged you in this.
That hey, the
I-
audience. No, that's good.
It's okay. I
Yeah.
scrolled up for now, but
Beautiful. So Olin, you stare at this figure, and just as like their face forms in your mind, your consciousness is ripped from the stream. The rest of you still see Olin there.
Is the same thing happening with Olin that it happens with Tobias now? Is he also moving his mouth as this man speaks?
No, but as you like look at Tobias, or sorry, not Tobias. As you look at Olin, he's still standing there, but he is translucent, almost as if when he uses his like ghost tattoo. Oh, thank you. They are
okay,
standing
it's been a while.
there like
Oh no,
Oh no, is he dropping for
looking
everyone or just
see
me?
through.
he's dropping for
For
me too.
everyone.
No.
You're back
It's okay,
now.
you're back. Yeah. Well, a little bit.
Well, as soon as I said that,
It
How
might be
dare
dis-
you say something?
I still
This
okay.
I feel like this always happens.
a little bit. It might be
It's-
Discord
it's-
acting up a little bit too.
Yeah.
You're
All
you
right.
look- You seem fine now, John.
hmm
Okay. So Olin, they're standing there, their figure looks translucent as if when they use their ghost step tattoo. And you see their body is kind of like you can almost like see their skin beneath their armor. And I think the one thing you notice is a like tattoo that almost seems to like hover over his chest, so this like large eye made of like a golden light.
Okay.
Spooky.
Hmm.
I want to say
Ah.
Sully is just spectating. She's just sitting back and watching everything that's happening, taking in as much information as she can.
Is there specific information that Sully is like looking for, trying to glean?
Well, I mean, yeah, he just referenced Rosemary and almost said a different name and then didn't finish.
Oh,
And
so is it-
Sully's been suspicious of Rosemary ever since she
What?
said not to question Mother, because
yeah.
Sully does what she's told not to do.
Listen.
Was
And
That's
is
just 'cause
Sully trying to
Rosemary's in a
take in
cult.
this?
But she's
Hell.
also suspicious of Tobias now because his shadow is connected to this mysterious figure that she knows nothing about other than the dream that she had.
So, Rosemary, sorry, not Rosemary, fuck, these names. Sully, it has been a long time, crew. We're gonna make some mistakes as we get back
Two
into
redheads.
We're crushing the game right now.
this. Yeah, we're crashing it. Sully, um, as you're trying to like take all this information in, would you say that Sully is more focused on trying to hear this name that Theron is going to use for Rosemary? Or do you feel like you're trying to gain more insight into why their shadows are connected?
Fuck. I think probably more into Rosemary's name.
All right, give me a perception check. I'm going to whisper this. The Twitch chat will have access to this information though, because it'll be on your stream.
No, because I don't have it showing that.
Oh, beautiful.
I've censored the whisper on my stream.
How do you do that?
The power of editing.
AI.
You hear this name that's whispered, or it almost feels like a whisper as your consciousness is ripped away. And as the rest of you see all of you still standing there, Tobias mimicking everything that Theron is looking at or saying, Olin standing there looking as if like a translucent specter, Sully standing there, though now you see like up one arm there's this giant mouth that is just kind of like opened, fanged teeth, this like large tongue kind of like hanging out of her arm as she's standing
Hell
there.
yeah.
Are the people who are still here perceiving that, or have the
Yes.
people
Yeah,
popped
I think
out?
it's just you and me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the people here that are perceiving this.
Do you want to go
you-
or do you want to hear what I say?
It's you
I
two
want to
and
go
your third friend.
last.
All right,
yeah,
then.
I did want to go last initially, anyway.
Then
Yeah, it's
I,
just the
I
three
will
of you
go.
there.
I will go. Let me figure out the voice really quick.
Geez, oh gosh, oh darn, oh shucks, oh darn, oh gosh.
Oh fuck.
You would think. You say you couldn't do this without me? Once I'm whole again, I'm cashing in that favor.
Ooh. He says, I'm afraid you'll have to collect it from one of my brothers, little sister. And then you are ripped from your consciousness. Everybody else standing there.
Did any of them hear that, or just Buster?
It's just me.
Just
Buster
Buster.
and your other party member. You guys are so rude.
We're
Buster
being
and friend.
So rude. Sorry, Redacted. We're not trying to leave you out.
Yeah, Buster and your sixth party member. I'll say Buster and the sixth party member. You see, like I've mentioned before, everybody else standing there in these various forms. You see Rosemary standing there, but hair instead of up in the ponytail is just like down, long, and out. And you see these small, sinuous, they almost look dragon-like, like creatures, like that are brightly colored, purple, blue, yellow, that seem to be like swirling around Rosemary's like legs and arms, and just kind of like around her generally.
I imagine the vision is crumbling around me, much like in Inception, with the far reaches of the room kind of crumbling to white.
Yes, you can kind of like feel the whole throne room is shaking, and also beside you, you see a small, or I say small, like shorter, young goblinoid figure standing behind there who's just like glaring at you.
Yeah. Probably mimicking the same
Mm-hmm.
movement of like rubbing my brow and like looking, hearing Rosemary talk like this, looking to the rest of my party who I'm like, are you hearing that? Are we? No, nothing. Okay. And then I just kind of say to Theron, my friend, I have been late to every occasion I have been invited to or have had the pleasure of going to. You say we are late, but was there any other way? Is there any other way? This is all just looks sad to me. Is there no other way? Is this how things had to happen?
I think
You
as
s-
you ask him this, he like begins tearing up a little bit. Like there, you can see Theron's eyes begin watering, and he looks down and he says, "I've asked myself this same question, but I'm afraid I can see no other path forward."
You should have asked the question out loud to friends. Two minds work better than one, usually, in my experience. You could have helped.
He like looks up at you, Buster, and he says, You could have helped.
That's what I do.
You can't even help yourself, friend." And with that, you feel your consciousness ripped away from the stream.
Nasty. Nasty. Man's nasty.
John, I asked another question. I apologize. I'm being very needy with my questions.
Okay, so for Rosemary, I would say she remembers the dream, though
Mhm.
perhaps not the thought process of like why she was saying the things that she was saying.
And did she hear her voice or did she hear the other voice?
She heard the other voice coming from like her.
Oh gosh, I was haunted. I was possessed. It was a ghost in the dream. See, I don't like ghosts. They do that.
Um, each of you awaken to the sound of clocks ticking on the wall.
Y'all, I am legit shake. My hands are legit shaking after that.
Are we
Now it's
in?
jaunty again.
I don't.
Are
You
we
awake.
in our? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're in a well-appointed, kind of like a thin but long town home. You are all in the living room, kind of in various sleeping arrangements. The fireplace is smoking from where it was going last night, but is no longer burning. You each awake to the feeling of spiders crawling
Oh.
on you.
Are there
Mm-mm.
spiders on me?
Oh,
Yeah, you look down there, like a handful of spiders like crawling around on each of you.
Mm.
oh
I
gosh.
tell the spiders good morning.
I
Oh,
eat
gosh.
some of them.
Hi, little friends, and I take them off of me.
I hold up my hand.
I jump straight up
Gladly pat them.
and brush them off vigorously.
Sully is gonna be frozen in fear, but making like a quiet screaming without moving her mouth.
Olin will walk over and start
Yeah, Rosemary will help. Like, oh no, oh sweetheart.
like de-ticking.
I appreciate it.
Where you had the spider bound before, you see the spider's head is there. Sitting, the rope's loose around the body. And the head has 8 arachnid legs coming out of it, so it's just like the head on top of like spider legs.
Oh, so it's like the thing.
It's like, have you ever seen Toy Story?
Oh no!
Yeah, kind of like that toy from Toy Story a little bit, except with like this.
I went
this,
far more horrific.
That's
well,
horrifying.
but it does have like little, the spider's face was not like a human head either. Like he had like little fangs, little like strange hairs on the side of his head, these like large bug eyes and several like smaller eyes around them. And the figure, the like head seems to look like it is wants to escape, except for this incredibly large figure who seems to be kneeling in front of it, staring at it with wild glee in his eyes, is
My man.
Armand.
Yes.
My good friend Armand.
So, as you awake, Armand kind of like looks back at you, but he says, is this who I think it is?
Oh, you found him. Yup.
We got you the spider. We found him last night. I thought you would appreciate it.
His body seemed to just like break away into a bunch of smaller spiders. But I figured you guys had him roped up for a reason, so I thought I would not let him escape. I don't think he likes me.
I have a lot of questions right now. Like, why is his head separated from that body over there? That's my first one. And I'll come back with you with my other ones as soon as that one is answered.
Oh, it's because he's a spider.
Gosh, yeah, he looks more like a spider now.
I
You could
thought
just ask.
I thought I would have told you that. Armand told me all about this. He's a spider.
He is
Oh.
also right here. We could just simply
Hi,
ask.
Mr. Spider. Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Rosemary.
I care not for your names.
Oh,
Wait, but
okay, that's a little rude.
How does your head do this thing? It was attached to body, but now it is small and spider-like.
Is he wearing? Is the body wearing a trench coat?
It probably was.
Yeah, he's wearing like lots of like
If I
thick
look
layers of
in-
clothing.
If I look in the trench coat, is it just a bunch of spiders?
Hundreds of spiders being like crawling
Oogie
around, like
boogie.
big, like chunky, thick
No.
ones.
Ew!
As opposed to, the bunch of little kids in the long trench coat.
I'm just glad
It's-
we can bring some levity to the campaign.
With the Spider-Man.
I am not bound by the rules of you foolish mortals. And he begins like trying to like scurry
Oh.
around Armand with no.
Armand, do you know if you have some peppermint oil? Spiders hate it.
Yeah. I
That's an
think we do have
actual
some of
real
that.
world fact, by the way.
Yeah.
Spiders are also very mortal. They're spiders, yes, many legs, but mortal, very much still, yes.
We're gonna have to start.
It'll keep the
I'm
spiders
not
out of
bound by the
house.
limits of. Armand goes to like the kitchen to fetch like a little jar of like essential peppermint oil. The spider's like, I'm not bound by the mortality of actual spiders. He's like
No, they'll do it.
clicking around.
No, I think you're bound by a rope there.
You cannot keep me here. No rope can truly bind me.
Okay, you need to calm down. I spritz him with a little peppermint oil.
Ah, my eye.
It does happen a little.
And then I'm just busy with the doorways and windows.
Keep the
Just like
rest of 'em
spritzing
out.
them around. What do you want with me?
One eye closed.
I have to be
We
honest.
want so many things from you.
That's a
It
great
feels
question.
like it's been a very long time. It feels like since we last saw you. So I'm not really sure what we captured you for, but I think we could probably elicit some information out of you in regards to the many gangs and crimes happening in this town.
Also, it's a fair trade that we keep you alive, and you send all your little spiders out to tell us what's going on in the city. And if we don't do that, then my friend here is very afraid of spiders. She really wants me to, kick the can on you. So you might want to cooperate. Or don't be bound by any type of mortal spider. Like, it's your choice. I don't care either way.
Make a intimidation check for me.
Okay, cool.
Can I assist?
How are you assisting here? Just the peppermint spray?
As I'm going back to the kitchen, I accidentally spill a little bit of the peppermint oil into the trench coat full of spiders. Because he might not be bound to the normal rules of spiders, but they probably are.
The normal rules of spiders.
I'm not using his fancy words. He doesn't
And
deserve them.
That's
And
what
he
we
was
should've
the
called
one.
episode.
He was the one who was afraid of me the previous night as well. Is that so? How am I rolling this? You let me know.
Intimidation.
No advantage.
No advantage.
Oh, yeah, you can roll advantage. Sorry.
Okay.
As like you spritz the peppermint oil, like several spiders begin moving away from it, scattering out in several directions. So it's a 22.
22.
He looks up and says, "I will answer 3 of your questions and direct you to my greatest prize if you set me free."
Are you a
Which
genie?
is
Don't ask him a question yet. Stop.
If your greatest prize is a bunch of flies in web, I am going to be so upset. I swear. I swear.
Tobias, you have to remember.
If your greatest prize is like a grasshopper that got really wild one
my
night,
God.
I'm going to
It's
lose
Jiminy
my
Cricket.
mind.
His greatest
going
prize
to
is
lose
Jiminy
it.
Cricket.
Simply
Hey,
cannot
Busta,
handle
is your
this today.
ladle, Busta, is your ladle as big as this guy's head?
Half as much. It's heavy.
That works.
Yep.
I'm gonna start. Do you mind if I take your ladle for a moment, Busta?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna take the ladle and start he's
Wait,
running
he
around on
said
the
he
ground, right?
absolutely minds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start
No, I was saying absolutely you can have it.
No, I.
with the ladle with his head a little bit, start lining it up, as if I'm gonna swing.
It would look much like a big wedge because it is technically a warhammer.
The war ladle.
Mm-hmm. Big
The war
spoon.
ladle.
I was
Yeah,
just
so you
gonna
grab-
say that Tobias, don't ask him what his treasure is, because he might think that that's one of his 3 questions.
That's one of the questions.
Okay, I'll stop.
Genies
That's-
are tricky.
So you don't ask him necessarily any questions.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Okay. We're
Uh,
gonna workshop. We're gonna put a lid on this.
he does look cowed a little bit, and he says,
Cow's
It's-
fire.
"My, it's my treasure hoard of items I've taken from my victims."
Oh.
Well, now wait a minute. Wouldn't that implicate us as a serial killer? I don't know where my voice is going.
Was that a question?
No, I'm asking our group and not him.
I mean, if these are all victims that are all dead, then technically yes, no. But also we could try and give things back to victims or families of victims that were killed by Spider-Man.
Well, let's feel out the
He's a
situation.
menace.
First, see what's gonna happen. See who we meet, who we don't meet, who we like, who we don't like.
Maybe they wrote
Yeah.
their names on their things.
Oh, my
I've
name is
written
mine.
Underwear with their initials in the
I've written my name on all of my possessions.
It's
Same.
all of the victims' tiny whiteys with their names
Right.
monogrammed.
We have done service to a community for killing pervert killer.
Okay, while I'm playing golf with the spider's head, I'm gonna look at everybody very casually and just say, "So we did all have that same dream, right? Everybody was there, right? Am I crazy?"
I mean,
had
what
that
was the
dream.
dream?
You had that dream, Sully?
I had a dream where everyone was there.
Oh gosh, I have lots of
Well,
dreams
did it
about you
involve-
guys.
A dark creature
Yeah.
and
Your shadow was
my shadow was
actually touching.
they were cuddling a little bit. Yes,
Yeah.
Well,
they're
congratulations.
definitely really close in the past. Don't know why.
Oh, does the missus know?
Well, I just found out, so probably not. So is that a yes from everyone?
I do believe we all shared this dream. Rosemary
Yeah.
is.
It was weird though because I wasn't
Hiding.
actually the dream. In the dream, like I was watching someone else.
That's weird.
Weird.
There was me, there was Sully, there was Tobias,
And wait a second.
there
Yeah.
was Buster, there was Rosemary, and then there was Rosemary.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Hmm.
Twice?
I
We were all-
only
we were all
saw
there.
Rosemary once.
Oh,
The-
okay.
it felt like there were more than just was 5 here. But you're saying there were 2 Rosemary.
Did you not look to my left?
I was a little wrapped up in.
Oh gosh, I
all
had no
other going
control.
on.
Over you or
Well, yeah, it wasn't me.
which one? Which one?
Neither. It wasn't me.
I can corroborate. I heard.
Oh yeah, it was a weird
Everyone-
voice. I think I was possessed. I tell ya, ghosts are just the worst.
It
Did you ever-
was a lot less ghost and a lot more angry lady who knew the men on throne.
I don't know what you're talking about. Rosemary, have you ever shaved your head?
Oh, I don't think so, but like I always say before being at mother's side, life just is a blank, right?
Okay.
Did we all share a previous dream of man standing in front of fire? Was it a previous Theron dream something we all shared as well?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
shared that.
This man.
Oh
in
yeah, I
front of
remember that one.
Fire. He was the same man as on throne.
Yep.
Yes.
Everyone went, said their own piece, looked at various things around the crumbling throne room. I was last. I saw everyone had very strange effect. The shadow, the Sully, you had a mouth on your arm. Rosemary, you had different voice of yourself within yourself.
Oh gosh.
It was a very angry woman. Knew who
Oh,
this
That
man
couldn't have
was.
been me.
But she knew this man.
I
He-
believe
he-
Rosemary, by the way.
He referred to her as sister.
Oh gosh, really couldn't have been me. I don't have any brothers. I just have sisters.
Well,
And John, we can roll insight about it if he wants.
I'm
roll it.
going to.
I'll roll insight about it. I'll do a little bit of rolling insight about it just for fun.
I just have a question for the DM
No.
about what skill I
No.
should be using.
You
Nat
tell me
one.
what skill you're using, and you can whisper it if you want. But I think you have a better idea of what skill Rosemary is using than I would.
Did I roll as well?
Oh my god!
If you feel like, I mean, Sully has been suspicious of
Oh, it
Rosemary,
popped
so this
off.
feels like
Let's
something you're trying to get a
go.
read of her. So I wouldn't be surprised if.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Gosh, why don't you trust why don't any of you trust me?
you ever,
Hell
you
yeah.
You're
ever
too
pick,
mysterious.
I tell
man.
ya. I'm what?
You're too
I'm
mysterious.
serious. I'm not.
you ever just pick all the right options in the dialogue tree? That's what I feel like that's where I landed at tonight.
Confirm.
So I'm messaging
both
the
of you guys.
DM
What?
something.
Yeah, gotta message us both.
Are you whispering it in Discord
Uh,
or in Roll20?
Roll 20.
You can mark my nat 1, by the way.
I already did.
Okay.
A couple of nat 20s there.
Wild.
And yeah, while this is going on, the like spider is like desperately trying to like move away and like find some exit, and is constantly like kind of repelled by the peppermint oil smells. And,
Told
like,
you.
And Armand, who's just really loving it,
and Tobias, who's like right there in his face.
teeing up.
I can't believe I rolled a nat 20. I'm excited to know.
Um,
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 1. Can't believe
With a
it.
+7.
Oh
I-
man.
I would say just roll whichever is higher, Rosemary.
Okay. I have a feeling they are both the same, so I will whisper it to the DM.
Harris just.
Oh my god.
Or you could just roll a d20 and see what happens.
So
Oh, yeah,
everybody
okay.
except Tobias.
Neat.
I'll let you kind of describe the same, actually.
I mean, you believe that Rosemary definitely mostly believes what she says. She is not trying to lie to any of you.
I will say you do get the sense that, like, while Rosemary seems to believe what she's saying, there does seem to be a sense of, like,
Maybe-
doubt.
Yeah, I was gonna say doubt.
Like, yeah, in her arguments, that you get the sense that she is not even like she is unsure, but seems to believe what she is saying.
Like, I don't have any brothers. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, oh no, mother would have told me if I had brothers.
I never shaved
Wouldn't
my
she?
head.
I
Right.
don't remember shaving my head, but like I said, life before mother.
Hmm.
Wasn't that fun?
Well, either way, we have shared dream of man on throne with lines of light connecting him to big star in sky, I believe. In throne room that was open. Like he had a big dark crown with spikes or horns on it.
Where did I put
You're strangely familiar, but it felt as if it was somehow inevitable.
I have a silly
Probably.
question, John.
Mhm.
Have we seen Theron on the train?
No.
No. Okay. Just checking.
So
I have a
we
question.
confirmed him.
How familiar was that figure looking like that to me?
Not any more familiar than anybody else. You've had dreams about this figure. You've heard about Theron through your bosses, I guess you could say, through the leadership of the Mistwardens. But
He's a creep.
otherwise, he seemed just to like you. Haven't met that guy, so you're not sure why your shadow would be attached in such a way.
Armand, do you know anything about the history of this place? Perhaps an old leader, a cathedral, a dark crown. Does any of that sound historical?
I mean, there's only been one leader that I know, and that's Azalin. But he's disappeared years ago now. Azalin Rex.
Rex meaning king.
It's a dinosaur.
Oh, so he's old?
Yeah.
Azalin
he's
supposed.
dead.
Yeah, I mean,
Extinct.
Azalin disappeared the same night that the King's Tear showed up in the sky.
Oh. Did the star that Theron was tethered to look like the King's Tear?
It do look very reminiscent of like the gold star that you've seen in the sky.
Neat. I hate it. That rocks.
Okay, I want to know if Spider knows that figure. I mean,
How do you frame that
anything else?
question?
Huh?
Oh, you're just talking amongst yourselves about which questions you're asking.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, not yet.
I think that's a good question, then.
One of our questions should most definitely be about other serial killers or dangerous nasties in town for us to either be made aware of or to watch out for.
Yeah.
What about
His
the ghost?
co-workers. Yeah, what is the deal with ghosts?
Yeah,
I
it's
also
not
believe-
every night because I don't
What's
like
up with
that.
The ghost parade.
I feel like Armand could answer that one.
Yeah, Armand does speak up and says, "Oh, yeah, the ghosts have been. They show up every night. It's pretty much
Oh.
the souls of those who died during the day. They usually come, from my understanding, from the ashery, and march out into the mist.
So
Oh, I
it's
don't
the,
like that.
The
it's the
ashery?
souls of all the people who died during that day.
Mm-hmm. All the ones that were burned at the ashery. Yeah.
Dang,
The-
how many people?
There were a lot of ghosts in that parade, right?
How many people die here a day?
He shrugs and says, "Hard to tell. There's a lot of serial killers in the city, plus illness from there's whispers that the plague from Illaluk has made its way here." He shrugs. He says, "I haven't spent much time in the city lately, so I really couldn't say. But yeah, the ashery. It's where they take all the dead bodies in the city so that they don't turn to zombies."
Death Stranding.
Beached things?
All right, we have two
Okay.
questions. Describe the figures. See if
See if you
that.
know
I want to make that kind of a more of a request, to trade a question for a request, like to see if he can send his spiders to find that something that looks like that,
That looks like what?
Just make it a
Like-
compound question.
like the figure from the dream.
Yeah. Can we set these
Hmm.
questions up to be compound questions? Essay questions, even?
Essay questions.
Compare and contrast for me. The
Show
serial
your-
killers in this town.
Show your work.
Using the scrap paper provided.
I'd say your question
Your
should be
response must
relatively-
be at least 5 sentences long. But no longer than 4 paragraphs.
Using APA style.
I guess
Let's-
I was
Yeah.
gonna say MLA format.
Chicago.
you could, I guess you could say, like, do you know who this person is and where we can find him?
Okay, I'm gonna have you describe it, Olin, because I think that you are the one who saw his face the
Oh.
best.
Fuck.
Rosemary had a shaved head.
Wait,
Is that-
Do we have
Is that what Olin was saying?
minor image? Minor illusion. Does anyone have minor illusion?
yes, I did.
Let me
Or
look
just
at
make
my
a-
spells. No.
Make
Oh.
bust.
I'm gonna make.
I have-
I'm gonna make a minor
Wait.
illusion bust.
I
There.
can make myself look like anyone.
Sure. Also works. Magic. We have magic. We are in a
Well-
world where magic exists.
Well, do you want to save that one for later in case we need it
Okay.
somewhere?
Oh, sure. Sure,
You
sure.
pop
I'm
off
gonna make a
cantrip.
minor illusion bust and like work with everybody to be like, this is correct, right?
Sagir
Okay.
bags. Sagir. Very, very down.
Oh gosh, his hair was real pretty. You gotta
I
make
really
sure
remember
it's
the
just
eyes
as
doing,
luscious.
like
Like
mantis.
a sideways thing.
The sideways
creepy.
eyelids as well. Very
Yeah.
creepy.
Do you do it with like the crown and everything?
Ooh, yeah, include that. That's
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
That's a key item, as they say.
No, it felt like the vision was for the future, though, right?
I don't think the crown was involved.
Well, you know, the crown might spark a memory from this area.
True.
It's very possible. Yeah.
If this was premonition, then Crown would not be there. But it is good to see if Crown connects to something.
I wonder
well-
what that ghost did for him.
I'm gonna roll.
Who
Very interesting.
who and where is this person?
The spider kind of like looks a bit like hates, like you can tell the spider's frustrated with having to do these questions. He says, "Before I answer, you swear to release me upon me answering these three, and telling you where my hoard is,
And never killing us, never trying to kill us again.
and never trying to kill you again."
Or anyone
Alright.
that resides in this house.
You say this very jokingly. We will need bonding contract for the killing thing specifically. Everything else, handshake.
Don't make me get the peppermint oil.
My word is bond.
There is nothing more binding than contract. Trust me.
Yeah, verbal contract just doesn't hold up.
You'd be surprised.
That figure, I have seen that face once before, though he did not wear that crown and did not wear that garb. That is the face of death.
How have you seen death and survived?
That's a good question, honestly.
Well, face of death. Expand
Well,
on this.
you know,
Is
he
this
could
is this
like a harbinger.
the manifestation? Is this the death that comes for all spirits, or is this just guy named Death?
Oh, you know, that's a good thing. That's a good point. That's a good thought.
Your second question, then. I shall answer this.
Sure. That's fine.
You know, I
I knew he
feel
was
like
gonna do
that's a
that.
bit of a clarification upon your
No,
not answering properly.
game respects game. I saw what he was doing. I respect it.
Death is
I
a
still get
figure.
the peppermint oil out.
Like, my
Nasty.
my seventh eye. He says, "Death is a figure that walks the lands of Darkon. Always has. Going from place to place, they say he guides the souls."
That's interesting.
And the souls went into the mist.
Yeah.
So he guides them through the mist wherever they're going.
So he's probably collecting them?
He's collecting them, much like Goku with the spirit bombs, so he become the king to do something.
Said if you wish to meet death, you should walk out into the shroud.
Oh no.
Maybe the shroud won't actually kill you, and you'll just see him standing there like, "Hey, I'm here for the souls. What are you doing here? It's a shroud, man.
What's
Come
up
on.
with that?
What are you doing out here? What's up, guys? Sorry, the fog's in front of it. Here, let me light a candle. Hey,
Third question.
Do we still want to ask the serial killer one to get a little practical knowledge about
I
there?
think-
Well, now,
I
doesn't
think that this
Armand know
smart
about
player-
all of the serial killers?
He does. I also
Yeah.
know about many of the
Does
serial
Armand
killers.
know like the specifics?
I know several serial killers, and I've started collecting some of the cards.
have cards?
They have trading cards?
Olin pulls one out. This is the spider.
Oh, you should get that signed. He's right here.
Oh, you're right. Can you spit on this?
It's like this little green gloop like spits on the card, and it like sizzles, burning away like some of the lacquer on it.
Packs it away.
I still think we
That's
should probably
worth
get
more
a little
now.
bit more
Don't
like
count that as your third
specifics
question.
in territory and things
No.
like that.
And I spritz another eye with peppermint oil.
Rude.
Man, Rosemary, you getting a little trigger happy over there.
Well, he's being, well, you know, gosh darn it, he's being a jerk. I'm sorry for the strong language.
Was there?
That's a
So-
demerit.
What was the other? So we wanted to know about the goings on in town. Is it better to ask about like relevant people, like wealthy, powerful people, serial killers? Or might be kind of the same group.
Do we know any relevant, powerful people besides Azalin Rex at the moment? And
Like
the
of
who's-
the town
Of-
though.
You've
Wait,
heard
who's
of the
the governor?
Baron.
The Baron, but
Yeah.
The Baron, yeah. What did we know about the Baron?
he runs this town.
But he's disappeared, right?
The
I think-
Baron's in the lead of Martyra Bay, but Rex Crown is where the other leader would be, which I'm assuming is where Rex Crown being where Azalen Rex would be. I see.
Yeah. So you'll kind of like Armand will pull out a map of Darkon that's actually on the wall. He kind of like pulls it down, throws it out for you, and says, "You see, Martyra Bay's within the Jagged Coast, but since the Shroud, the area where Illaluk is known as Rex Crown.
Hmm.
And you can kind of like see where the mist has split the land of Darkon into 4 regions. The Shroud, as they call it, the Jagged Coast, the Lichgate, Rex Crown, and last but not least, the Mistlands off to the west or east.
How do you get between regions?
There are Shroud. Yeah, there are guides that take you through the Shroud.
Answer my question. It's like you just hire
So-
someone.
so it
Captain.
doesn't
Didn't we
kill
just
you
get told that if
immediately.
we go in the shroud, we'll die?
Yeah, but
Meet
there's people who
death.
Can do it.
If you enter the Shroud, you will meet death. You will not die. It is very, very funny trick of the word. If death is person with manifestation, you could very easily meet him getting groceries just as easily as you could meet him in the mist. Could you imagine getting bananas, being like, "Death, what are you doing here?" This
I
is
mean, you
crazy.
can't beat the sales.
Can I
carrot?
have your autograph? Do you like oranges? Yeah,
They're
it's
bananas,
crazy.
death. How much can they cost?
I think that we should start.
37 cents
I think
a
that we should start
pound.
with, the where we are. So maybe we should start with the Baron and kind of figure out Rex later.
Yeah, find important people if there are other serial killers in this list
Oh.
of important people in Martyra Bay. I think
As
that
a
is
reminder,
best
uh,
use of last question.
for important people, as a reminder, we were told to go to the Bloody Ghost to talk to Van Richten.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
As
I am-
reading my notes.
I'm gonna ask the spider the last question.
Oh, part of me wants to use the last question on saying, is the gift of your stuff trapped? That's kind of what I want. I know it's going to be, but I kind of
Yeah.
want to.
We're
I think finding out what the people are is more important. But this guy's a little scamp.
I'm gonna ask the spider last question. Then you get to go home, tell us where your treasure is, and we're gonna get that contract signed that you can't kill anybody anymore, especially us. If you do, we're just gonna come say hi again.
This is breach of contract.
I feel like you know a lot of things about a lot of people. The Baron, please identify to me the Baron's deepest desires and fears. I've watched a lot of Peaky Blinders lately. That's my next character, 100%.
Oh yes, John Peaky Blinders.
What's his name? Karen Gillum.
Kieran Gillen, Karen McGillicuddy.
Isn't it Killian?
Yeah, you're talking about
Killian-
Killian Murphy.
Killian Michael.
Gillian
Murphy.
Ginderson.
Killian from
The Scarecrow?
Just keep
yeah.
making noises.
So,
Kieran Gillian.
will you repeat your question about the Baron real quick?
Yeah, what is the Baron's deepest fears and desires?
Well, you didn't ask it before. You sort of just said, state this to me, which was more of a statement than a question.
Ooh. You did say tell me the first time you did.
You stated it. You didn't ask it. You
That is
said,
your
"Did
third
you
question.
tell me?"
Do you have an
Okay,
answer?
you're 3 eyes down. Do you want to be 4?
Did it end in a question mark?
Can I answer your question with another question?
You want to see me drink this guy?
Who can know any creature's deepest desires and fears?
Well, gosh, I assume you know your own. Kind of a dumb question, if you don't mind me saying. Puts another copper in the swear jar for saying dumb.
I just look. I just like killing and eating people. Okay.
None of
He
your
is a
spiders have
bad.
been around the Baron. They've got some juicy little bits of information.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm telling you.
By our
You're allowed
rules,
to correct.
by our rules, you have 3 questions. Be clear. What is your 3rd question?
Is that a no?
Honestly, if you don't know that much about other people, I would say your spiders are kind of lackluster.
Oh,
Kind of bad at your job
Whoa.
of serial killing. Whoa.
Yeah, really. Don't know nothing about anything? Oof.
Okay. My spiders are great.
And you see
Okay,
them like
sure,
saying, like,
pal.
If
And I
if-
spray a little peppermint oil.
If you're just going around killing random people without some sort of modus operandi, you're not a serial killer. You're just a murderer.
You're just you are a manslaughterer, not a
Yeah.
murderer.
You gotta-
not serial killer.
Oh,
You are effectively like horse trampling
Yeah.
passerbys. There's no
I-
We have
serial
to write
killing.
serial killer. We gotta cross it out, murderer, cross it out, and then manslaughterer.
Yeah.
Modus operandi, okay? I totally leave bodies in webs all the time. That's how people know that I'm the spider.
Yeah, but like, why? Sorry, this is not my character.
Oh.
This is not who I am. But
There's
why?
calling card, yes, but
Yeah,
but
so
why
you're-
do you pick them?
no,
You have
don't.
to pick them for a certain
That's
reason.
Don't.
That's question.
Rosemary would have slammed a hand over his mouth. So you are saying that you just pick people at random because you don't put any thought into anything and you're not a serial killer. That's a statement, not a question.
You are like spider chasing flies. You don't know what you're going to do if you catch one. You kill them, I guess. Oh.
Yes, and my targets are people with blood in them, okay?
You
Oh,
you're-
wow,
you're
yeah,
starting to become the
that's
worst
so
serial killer I've
specific.
ever heard of.
Well,
okay.
you,
And
you
then you
tried to kill
attacked.
me. And I don't have any blood.
Yeah, you attacked this party. You half.
Oh,
Only half
gosh.
of blooded. Mm.
Gosh.
Olin cuts open his hand. You see, there's no blood.
No blood.
Yeah, he's just kind of embarrassing. I don't know if you really want his autograph anymore. I feel like that might have depreciated his card value.
I don't even know if I want the 3rd question anymore.
Listen.
Yeah, you got really lackluster there at the end there.
How about you?
Look, I know
tell
stuff
us-
about the
This man
Baron.
down.
Okay.
How about you
Tell
tell
us
us
about
where
the
your
Baron.
stash is?
We've gaslit him into
Thinking that he's really bad at his job. Yeah.
Look, I know
You
things,
bullied him.
okay? I
Oh,
get
sure
information.
you do. Sure.
Okay. Tell us about the Baron.
Prove it.
We will collect all your small spiders in doggy bag for you to take home.
Yeah, we'll even
Oh,
take
is
you
there
close.
some Tupperware?
Yeah. Fuck.
I'll poke a hole in the top.
Just hearing that voice say Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Just does it.
The
Tupperware.
Baron. The Baron was once a criminal underlord, I guess you could say, in charge of the criminal world in Martira
Huh.
Bay.
And then he became a civil overlord.
Once Azalin disappeared, the Baron took over the Kargot and has been in control of the bay ever since.
Armand,
you-
what is the cargo?
Which you guys have actually heard of the Kargot. Like, that was one of the very first things that the French dwarf, whose name escapes me at the moment, asks you when you first arrives if you were members of the Kargot.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Cowboy.
The secret police.
The secret
Mhm.
police.
Yeah.
The KGB.
Mm-hmm. Are you?
You have to
Yeah.
tell me if you're a cop.
Well, that's not his deepest fears and desires, but I guess that's something.
It's okay. We got a freebie out of it. We still
All
have one
right.
question left.
Oh, is that true? That's true.
Gaslit him. We didn't ask you. You proved it all on your own.
Fine, one question. I'm not giving you any more information unless it's in the form of a question.
Well, that's probably just because he doesn't know anything else. I mean, he just really gave us basic information there.
He pukes on the floor.
Oh, gross. You know, this is what you're supposed to do with dogs and rub the face.
Rub your face.
No! My other eyes!
Oh man.
Olin dips the card in there.
Oh.
Armand, your mom is going to be so angry with the carpet.
Armand is just like grinning, the like biggest grin on his face as he watches all this.
Any other question? Doesn't really
guess
seem like he knows a lot, which is frustrating. But
We probably should get information about the other serial killers so that we don't find ourselves in another web.
okay.
Sticky
All right.
situation.
All right, Spider.
That's so
Last
funny.
question. This is your last question. I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
Who,
Oh.
Buster, you're hilarious.
who, where?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, Tobias.
Wait, do we want to like workshop this question before we still holding his face down?
I was gonna say, who, where, and what are the serial killers?
Ooh.
Who are the other serial killers and what are their weaknesses that you know of?
Do we want to know where they are too?
I would
Plus,
like
they're-
Find them.
I would like an
Oh, they'll
itemized
find
list of
us.
all the serial killers in
Yeah, they
They're
will
wearing
find
their
us,
modus operandi.
or we will find them, or there will be other people that know where to find the midnight slasher.
You just
And
want to
you
send us
found
like a Google Doc of this list.
That's multiple questions for sure.
No, that's an essay question.
Will you fill out a ledger with all of the information you know about all of the serial killers?
the-
Truthfully.
Wait,
Can you please fill out the
Oh.
ledger
With a truthfully
with the
tacked on to that.
information?
you will fill
information
out
on
this ledger?
That's answer yes or dagger throat. Yeah, no, that's it.
Oh,
That's
I
the
take his
one.
face out of the puke.
Is this torture?
No, it's
No.
training.
It- Fuck. It is body training.
If we want to join the KGB,
Mr. Spider, CIA,
the Calgorian good boys.
dwarf.
I know of 3 other serial killers. What do you want on each of them?
What they are weak to, or like what to stay away from.
Location.
Alias
Where they are is
MO.
fine.
Alias MO.
Location. Why am I doing that?
I
ASL.
would like a description of their names,
ASL.
of their strengths, and of their weaknesses, and of the territory.
We are asking for ASL, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, by sex you mean like weakness, but you know.
We want the
Amen,
ASL
brother.
hobbies.
He kind of like begins writing out a list. He dips one of his little legs inside his puke and uses it to like write on a little thing.
Just about to ask,
Gross.
how does a spider hold a pen? Like, what is
so
it? Like
nice.
multiple legs? Like, what is it that works too?
And he writes 3 names.
It's like Charlotte's Web.
Some pig.
Makes it in a web.
Oh, I'm glad we have some more levity.
We need
Yeah,
it.
we have to laugh after the stressful situation of the dream of the world crashing around us.
What are you talking about? That wasn't stressful.
No.
I don't know what you mean by their weaknesses.
I don't know how that could be more more clear than that.
What
I
are
really
they-
don't.
Like, oh, if you have a green stone, they can't kill you because
Well-
they become weak around it or something.
Oh, so like you're weak against
yeah.
peppermint oil.
For
okay,
instance,
well that's
for
Yeah,
for
this is
instance, you're
exactly-
easily gaslit.
You are
Oh, that's
very
cool weaknesses.
pliable. Your mind is like soft putty. You know?
Are you? No, that's another question. Sorry.
All right. So first is the Midnight Slasher, which you seem to know.
My friend Armand told me about him.
They tend to hunt lone travelers in the alleyways of the city and chop up their bodies and leave bits of them around.
Oh, how do we know that's just one person and not a bunch of people just doing the same thing?
I've seen them. Their weakness? Soft fleshy bits. The weeping woman
What?
That's my weakness too.
tends to hunt men near the docks, where they vanish.
Mm.
Some turn up drowned down
Oh,
the river.
yeah, that is like La Llorona.
La Llorona.
Weakness? Soft fleshy bits. The Silver Fang.
Now hold on a second, Spider-Man.
I spritz it with more peppermint oil.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
we
Telling
are.
the
We are.
truth.
He is technically telling truth. They are their weakness.
He's
we were
just
not clear.
being a jerk about it. I'm sorry. And another copper into the swear jar.
Game respects game.
I guess he says that because he has an exoskeleton, so he doesn't
Oh
have any
gosh,
soft,
you got
squishy
that
bits.
chitinous shell.
Yes, you all have soft fleshy bits. It makes you very easy to stab.
You didn't do a very good job of it earlier.
Technically correct.
I get it. You beat me, okay?
Ow.
The last is the Silver Fang. It tends to murder old people, hence the silver part.
Oh,
Usually drunks coming from the tavern. Weakness?
soft fleshy bits.
None.
Golden Girls DVD.
What?
None.
Wait, not even. What?
We need to recruit them.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, now he has to take us to his treasure and
I'm
safely
gonna
get us
gather
to
up
it.
his clothes, take him back.
His clothes.
All right, we're gonna take you back to it. You're gonna take us there, and you're gonna go first, and then, see you later.
I hope that you manage to develop your modus operandi in a
Rosemary,
more
can you write out-
satisfying way.
There is one more,
Oh,
though. They are a strange one, and no one actually remembers their victims.
No one remembers their victims. That's a curious way to phrase that, Spider.
But I've seen them. I've resisted the song. They don't have a card, though. They're not in the main deck. They are known as...
oh, it's an expansion pack.
I call them the Vanisher.
I look over at Armand to see if there's any recognition on his face.
Yeah, he shrugs and says,
Perhaps you've seen the Forget-Me-Not flowers. Signs of the creature's murders.
That checks
Uh,
out.
Hold on, out of character. Does that mean that our sixth party member is dead?
No, she's literally in the room with us.
Potentially.
We don't know yet.
Why are none of you looking at her?
I
Wait,
mean,
no. I
What
don't like
exalted
that.
you guys don't know.
Owen?
Rosemary could contain multitudes.
You guys are
That
really
could be
being mean.
literal and not just her talking about her personality.
Now the gaslighter has become the gaslight. What?
I'm so confused.
Armand kind of like shrugs and says, I mean, there's no proof the Venature actually exists. All of the, I mean, other than like tales that there are things left behind that nobody can explain why they're there unless somebody else lived there. Census reports that don't really match up, that kind of thing. But no one, the Vanisher feels like an old wives' tale. Nobody remembers the victims. Flowers are left behind once they die. It's a
Has anyone-
boogeyman.
Has anyone ever seen them?
Oh, didn't the
I
spider?
have
What did they look like?
an inhuman creature.
Okay.
Kind of like death.
No, he's
No,
human.
death is fleshy bits.
He sure
Uh,
does.
Ah.
Hey.
Hey.
Sorry, the way you said that.
I've seen the Vanisher hunt in broad daylight, and no one seems to notice the creature. It has many heads, and it sings. And it seems that those who hear its song forget it. They cannot keep their eyes on it. They don't remember anything it says or does. But my spiders have kept track of the creature.
That's fucked up,
Wait.
John.
You know, just checking. The last time that your spiders saw it, was it maybe? And I'll describe where we were when we were there.
Perhaps it travels out of the city.
Okay, so I'll clean up one of your eyes if you tell me.
It has been gone from the city, or I have not noticed it taking any victims for several days. It's possible it was out that way. It
I'll
sometimes
clean one
goes.
eye.
Thank you.
Just a little water. Just the.
The Vanisher comes and goes, though I'm fairly certain it dwells inside the city.
That's interesting. Is
How do
there-
we find this thing if nobody knows it's there except you?
Is there... There's surely a sewer system to the city, an underground network.
No, they just throw their shit in the streets.
I mean, it's not...
There is-
Fun
unheard
fact,
of.
that's how America was for a long time.
Still is.
Well,
There is. I actually did just see a castle thing that was like showed the outhouses on like the outside tower, so when people shit, it just
oh,
hit
and then
the,
like
the
a
bottom of
long
the tower.
and yeah.
Ew.
Right near the
Uh,
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah, so like
Really?
all the bathrooms were just like hanging off of like the main tower. Anyway,
Terrible.
Don't be walking under there after chilly night.
the spider kind of like shrugs a couple of arms and says,
It's a difficult creature to hunt. Better to avoid it altogether, else you'll forget one of your friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so say we might have already forgotten one, hypothetically.
Who did you
Would
forget?
she then leave the rest of us alone?
Perhaps. As long as you did not come within its hunting range, wherever it was hunting that day.
Okay.
Who did you forget?
Oh, well, no, I'm just assuming because there were supposedly 6 people in that dream, but there's only 5 of us. And then there were forget-me-nots when we first got here, which I took.
Do you still have them?
I don't remember giving them to anyone, so I assume I still have them.
that sounds right.
I didn't give them to anyone, so.
Just like little red flowers.
Maybe that's why
Ta-da.
you can't remember them.
Well, can you? They smell nice.
I'm gonna smell the flowers.
Yeah, they do smell nice. And you do have this instance of like, I think there's this moment, Olin, you're smelling them, and you kind of have this moment where you remember. The flowers don't necessarily bring back any specific memories of anybody, but they do remind you of perhaps something you've forgotten in like the chaos of coming to Darkon. Of the time that you accidentally, like, Tobias lost one of his journals from his daughter a long time ago, trying to save you. And like since then, you've been gathering random flowers that you've seen in the lands, like to give him at various times. This is part of our creation stories that we came up with. So I think you just kind of like have you kind of like remember that in your head, and think of like other flowers that you've given to Tobias. But the scent smells like sickly sweet.
Oh, it's pretty
No.
nice.
It is, but it's kind of sad.
Oh, really? It smells like just the right amount of sweetness.
That makes sense.
Oh,
Someone rolled a 1 earlier, and I forgot what
Oh,
we're doing.
yeah.
Oh, it was
Oh
Tobias.
no!
Right.
I've
Mark
already
it.
marked
The one
that.
guy whose gift we already know everything about.
I would like to update people on our standings so far. So John has rolled, that we know of, 2 natural 20s. Just golf clap.
No.
Okay, well,
Is that
Buster has rolled 4 natural 20s.
Wow.
Stay rabbit.
Let's go, bunny boy.
Olin has rolled 2.
Okay.
Rosemary got her first one tonight. Sully has rolled 4 natural 20s as of tonight so far.
Oh, contender.
And Tobias has rolled 3. For natural 1s, John has rolled 3 that we know of. Buster and Olin have rolled 0.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Rosemary has amazingly only rolled 1.
Shocking.
This is a drastic improvement from all my other characters. Sully has only rolled 1. Tobias has rolled 3.
Well,
Hey.
compared to Rec, where I rolled 2 times as many 20s as literally everyone else in the campaign. This
Yeah.
is disappointing.
The
Gotta get
campaign
those
is still
numbers up.
young.
That's
Yeah.
well,
Those are rookie numbers.
gotta pump those numbers up.
So with that, the spider says,
So I can get my body back together and I'll take you to my treasure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
Yes.
remember, if we die because you trap us, that counts as a breach of contract.
And our zombies will haunt you.
Oh, and all the ghosts. I'm haunted by a lot of ghosts, so you don't want that.
I'm already dead, so it doesn't do you any good to kill me.
You're a strange bunch.
the spider, you see like hundreds of spiders begin like gathering in the clothes again as like the clothes begin like shifting, almost like forming a body. The head of the spider like crawls over the top of it,
I'll
sliding
rinse
its
a
legs
couple
down.
more of his eyes with water.
That's enough. I can get it
Okay,
myself.
now hold on. Now, young man.
As the spider like fully forms into a body. And I'll kind of do this next part rather quickly. He leads you to a nearby alley where there's like an abandoned apartment. Inside, the room is like filled with webbing all across it. And so we're using a few homebrew rules for those watching, including homebrew crafting rules, which will be unfamiliar for some of our players, somewhat familiar for others. But basically, crafting any magic item requires materials, usually magical of sorts. And so I'm going to start handing those out
Yo.
right
Let's
now.
go.
Neat.
Let's go.
So you have 4 materials worth of spider silk.
Is this for each of us or for one person?
This will be total, so you guys can decide how you want to.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
we have a dock. Let's put this in the dock, guys.
Yeah, we have a whole spreadsheet.
Set up a separate subcategory of crafting materials instead of just letting it all get lost in the hither and thither of the other
Smart.
items in the bag.
That's real smart.
So the web itself will act as a silky material that you can use. There are. Ooh. What are some of the other treasure here?
Fine cloth from victims. Could be, or metals from weapons from
Or
victims.
metals from jewelry, so we could have precious metals and or low gold cost gems.
in terms of material of
Yeah.
what they are. Because I do believe that material are also equally exchangeable for gold value based on tier, if that was the correct version.
Yes. And all these are uncommon material.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But in terms
Um,
of like what they are for flavor is always interesting.
yeah. So I'm gonna describe this and then I'll get it all out like for you guys. So there's the spider web, which is gonna act like 4 materials that you can like make out of. There is 2 like fine actually no. 2 materials worth of like fur, like fine fur from like various materials that people were wearing, clothes and stuff like that. And so materials can be very simple. Like the fur is just like you're gonna have like the material name, the kind of type of the material, and like its effects and like what it might do with the material. So for instance, the spider web is gonna be a silk material, very straightforward. The fur is going to be even more straightforward, where it's like literally like fur is the item type. And the types are very vague. They're just kind of like descriptive more than anything else. You also find a orb, which could be used as like an arcane focus, but this orb has like a dull green glow inside it that kind of like sparks out, and it, like very obviously has like some arcane magic to it. And I think that's and then there are 2 rubies. Worth 200 gold pieces each. And there's also just 65 silver pieces, 22 gold pieces, 4 platinum pieces,
Holy shit.
and
Big monkey.
300 copper pieces. So you're kind of going through this apartment. There's like these big gyms. There's some materials that could be used for crafting magical goods, as well as just various coins and stuff that have been kind of collected throughout. There's also like several bones you see still trapped in these webs. There looks to be a like almost like freshly dead victim that's just like fully embalmed in these webs and like on this bed in the apartment.
Do the victims, looking at them, do they seem to have anything at all in common other than a pulse at one point?
I take some bones.
You can certainly take some bones.
Do I add that to my inventory?
Yeah, are you taking like just any particular bones?
Get a thigh bone.
The femur is the most versatile of the bones.
It's a super
femur?
dense bone.
Yeah. It hurts
Yeah.
the most if
I'll
it
take
breaks.
a femur
so-
and a skull.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of vertebrae to use as last second caltrops.
Oops. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him.
I knew that guy.
Yo.
Not well.
Yorick? I knew him.
Yo.
Yeah,
Yorick, what up?
we went to school together, I think.
You can add those individual bones if you would like, or you can just add a single material that only Solia would have, which is the murder victim bones.
If you use the like individual little finger bones, you can make cute little accessories because they're small, so they could be like earrings, and
As many bones as I want.
Bones,
you can
bones,
take a whole
bones.
ass skeleton.
Yeah, I mean within range, you
can
still
fit in
have
your
like a
back.
backpack. Yeah, you have like a backpack. You have to be able to like fit all these things in.
You
can't
could
Okay.
turn the finger bones into a really cool necklace. One of my friends
kinda
has
do
a
want the
tooth
finger
necklace.
bones. I want finger bones. Can I take finger bones? I got
Yeah.
a femur bone, a skull, and finger bones.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Make a cool lockpick.
Ooh, a skull key?
Skulky.
Skeleton key.
That's what I meant to say, and my brain didn't want to go there.
Yeah, make a
Mm.
skulky.
Skulky. You doing a little
You know-
skulky? Huh?
What are you
That's
doing
what
skulking
Rosemary
around?
calls it. She calls it a skull key
Just
because
a
a
little bit of
skeleton key is
skulky?
just a little too spooky.
If she says skeleton, she has to put a copper in the swear jar.
Yeah.
All right.
I have marked off 3 copper from my sheet, by the way.
So, with that, we will also be unrolling another set of our homebrew rules for this campaign.
Oh no.
As you guys are kind of like now establishing yourselves in the city, we're gonna do a little downtime segment. So, a couple of things for those watching: we are doing gritty realism rules for 5e, which means that our short rests are 8 hours long, and our long rests take a full week. So during this week, where our party will be long resting, they'll have the opportunity to take downtime actions, in which you'll be able to basically do 2. You have 2 downtime points or 2 downtime actions. I'm not sure the points are really necessary, but that you'll be able to take during this week, include trying to craft an item, working to make like some extra money, or doing a sort of long-term project, like discussed earlier, of like setting up a criminal contact in the city or something like that. So you guys do have a loose base of operations at the house, Lady Vachon's townhome. However, you get the sense, like you were told basically you'd be able to stay there for the night. You get the sense that you
Well-
probably could push for a week, but after that you would need to move on from
Just
Lady
squatting.
Vachon's house. Yeah.
Is the Bloody Ghost just a like bar? Is it a tavern with
It is
rooms?
It's a tavern.
We could just go to the Bloody Ghost.
We could kick the spider out from his little stash apartment.
Oh, we could kick the spider out.
Or we could just move in with him. Instead of kicking him out, we could just have like the most uncommon bedmates situation possible.
And they were roommates.
Damn.
We gotta clean up we gotta clean up a lot.
Yeah.
Oh. We're gonna need to set up a chore chart.
Anybody have prestidigitation?
Okay, I'll
Spider,
collect
what
all
did
the
I say?
bones. I
What did I
volunteer.
say about putting web in the living room?
So do y'all want to set up in the apartment that the spider had?
We'll talk to him about it. Be like, hey, I know we just like beat the shit out of you, tied you up for an evening, gaslit you,
Rub your face
interrogated
in your
you,
vomit.
borderline war crime level torture, like a step away from waterboarding. But can we like crash at your place for like a week or 2?
Or
Well, that'd
longer.
be cool, right?
I mean, I'm not staying here anymore, so squat all you want.
Oh gosh, why not? It's such a lovely place.
There's so much sunlight, through the natural windows and all the web and bodies.
The
smell.
ambient light is just to
Best
kill
face
for.
You've seen where I live now, so I'm not
Oh,
staying
yeah.
here. It'd be stupid.
You
You'll
could just-
send-
No, we won't tell anyone. You stay with us. We'll take care of you.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
like soup?
she'll knit you some sweaters.
Oh my gosh, I could knit you so many sweaters.
Make
We
me
could,
a
like-
persuasion check, Sully.
Does she have
Me?
advantage?
Or sorry,
I-
not Sully, Rosemary.
Oh, me?
Oh, and you can have advantage with Sully helping you.
Oh lord. All right. My
Wait,
specialty.
wait.
This
wait.
is still whispered, and oh god.
Oh, I was gonna cast guidance.
Oh,
That's
if you want to cast it,
And don't,
That's
it's not gonna be enough to
It's
help
not.
in this situation.
Cool.
She rolled a 10 with advantage.
I have a
Um,
plus one.
So the spider's like,
no, thanks.
No.
I have some standards and living conditions.
Whoa. That's rude. He's an asshole.
And also, I don't want to have to like control my urges around you because I would definitely just want to like eat you randomly. So it's better if we just part ways now. I'll leave one of my spiders in a corner if you want to reach out to me.
That's fair.
Okay.
And we won't, and we will not spray peppermint oil on that spider. Rosemary.
Okay. I put it away.
What is Spider's name?
They don't all
Boris.
have. Yeah, but it's Boris now.
Oh, I knew many Boris before. This is very familiar to me. Boris.
So yeah, like one spider
This-
crawls out from under his pant leg and goes like walking. I'm like crawling up into a corner and beginning
What
to
kind
like
of
slowly.
spider is it?
My man.
It
Dear
looks.
Google, spidergenerator.com.
Please say a jumping
Spiders
spider, because if you
dot
say anything else, I'm gonna cry.
Ooh, a
Jumping
trapdoor
spider's cute.
spider.
I was
A jump-
actually gonna say a trapdoor spider. They're cool as hell.
There's
Yeah.
like a weave
Orb
orb spiders. That's
spiders,
the first
yeah.
one that came to my mind.
Aren't
Spiders
those
are
like
cool.
the deadliest?
No.
No.
they just they
Not
they
deadly,
weave
they're-
really cool webs though.
But they got big butts.
So it's like this
Yeah.
brown furry
Got a
spider. It's like
So
as
a
big
wolf
around
spider?
as it's as big around as like a 50-cent piece or something like that.
Boris. Little
He's-
guy, Argo.
Little guy.
Little spider.
Little
What's up,
friend.
little guy?
6th character slot.
Little guy, little
I
spider.
like that. Little spider. I'm
Oh my
always
god, the
constantly-
spider's bigger than Sully.
I'm always constantly fighting the
Yeah.
urge to flip into Yiddish.
Yeah. Little bird, little cow.
Little thing. Oy vey.
There's
What
a
are we gonna
Date
do?
and to-do list on the table.
Huh?
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh, it was
I
hidden
That's
underneath
the-
my character sheet.
I believe this is for a potential, like if we have plans or projects.
Oh
if
gosh,
we-
I just need to find Basil.
like just like at the grocery store, or like
No,
you need-
my sister.
Oh, the person, not the plant. Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Basil,
Basil.
basil. This is going to get.
I've heard it both ways.
Save Darkon. Cool. Start with the small stuff. The
Yeah.
easily accomplishable stuff up top. Interesting.
So now that we're moving, you guys set up inside the apartment. It's been abandoned for quite some time. It is pretty dirty. It takes you some prestidigitation, some spell work to get it cleaned up, some elbow grease, if you will.
Cleaning montage.
Yeah, cleaning montage as the group gets this little apartment ready. And it's just like a single floor apartment. We'll say it has like 2 bedrooms in it, each with like a double bed. Yeah. There's not much in the way of like furniture. The beds are pretty like rotted away.
So
Oh.
we're gonna make pallets in the floor and cuddle up, or what?
How big is the living room roughly? I know this is a lot of stuff you weren't planning on, but like
I mean, like, it's like a pretty decent size, like a 10 by 10 room or something.
10 by 10. Okay. Oh yeah.
You get the sense that this used to be like a nicer part of town that like became a poorer part of town. So I'm gonna put our cheery your music back on. You clean house. You get settled in the bay a little bit. As you rest to recover your wounds. During this time, so you can spend your downtime points on the same thing if you want to get basically like an extra roll or like, you know, push for higher on the clock that you're trying to do. Sorry, I'm like looking through my assets. I used to have some clocks set up. I'll have to like set them up on this. But yeah. So, with that being said, does anybody know what they want to do with their downtime already?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Olin, let's start with you.
So, for 1 point, I'd like to begin training a proficiency in acrobatics.
Okay.
Because I think that after the embarrassing display of trying to climb up the buildings during the fight with the spider, Olin feels like they want to have a little more grace. So immediately outside of the spider's apartment, they just start trying to like vault from side to side and from rooftop to rooftop, and they like try and hunt down the spider to be like, can you make me some webs so that I can do some cool acrobatic tricks off of them? The spider's like, I'm working.
Okay, yeah, you can convince the spider to be your trainer for this. Yeah, and for those who in the group who have not seen it, there's a Google Doc. If you mean like for like the status of the long-term things, I'm writing them down right now, but I will create like clocks that we'll have like on our board for everybody to see for next time. I wonder if I can find.
I would also like to request just to the group that I would like to make a bow at some point, so if you could save me a silk for like a bowstring, that would be chill, because I'm not looking to make a magic item during this downtime.
Can you use some of the bones?
Probably. Be interesting.
Maybe.
You need a femur bone? I got you.
I don't know if a femur will have the bend.
The flexibility? You need a rib bone. You need a rib bone.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. I like that.
That's actually pretty fire. A bone bow for you?
A bone bow.
That's
neat.
that's pretty on brand
bone.
for you.
A bone. A bone.
See if I can.
Thank you, Rosemary. Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you. I aim to please.
Oh man.
Okay, so training acrobatics. That
Yeah.
is a let's see. I made these rules a long time ago, so let me refresh.
A DC 15 ability check and 50
6
gold
segment
in
clock.
costs.
Cool.
6 segment clock.
Are you doing both of your? Are
No.
you spending both of? Okay, just one.
Just one.
Are you reading off of the old sheet?
Since we have like a base of operations now, can I use Divine Sense to make sure that there's not anything like
Oh yeah. I'll say you kind of like
spooky around?
regularly do that, and you don't really ever detect anything that sets off your divine sense. But I will note that Sully is doing that like with regularity, so if like something would set it off during the week. Cool. So, whenever you spend a point, downtime point to advance a training progress clock, this is a 6 segment clock. You spend 650 gold to cover your training costs, and then you go ahead and you're doing acrobatics. So go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check.
I'll do it. If I can click on it. Hello? Any rollers? Oh, it rolled 3 times. Okay, I failed the first one.
Jeez.
Okay. So when you fail, you
Get
advance one segment on the 6 segment clock here.
That's fine.
So you're partially on your way to being proficient in acrobatics.
Let's
What are you
go.
doing with your second downtime point?
I would like to create, with the help of Armand, one of those like Charlie Day, It's Always Sunny style cork
Pepe
boards.
Sylvia.
Pepe Sylvia, like red lines in between points of like important people in Darkon. So I would like to start creating a map network of all the ways that important people and like serial killers and anybody Armand can give me information on are connected, are like interconnected.
Okay. And this goal basically is to get like insight into the city,
And maybe even outside of the city, ideally. But because if it's like, well, the Baron took over right when Azalin Rex disappeared, so that's like a point of connection for them, and then stuff like that.
Did the Baron do something about that? Is that why?
Yeah.
You know, is it just an opportunistic?
This serial killer popped up when this thing happened, or stuff like that.
Okay.
It's all very conspiracy, but
let's just call that like a 4-segment clock. I think that's a complex thing, but not like overly complex. So we'll use the simplest one. And is there anything from your I don't remember your background feature, but is there anything from your background feature that would like assist you in this project?
it's a good question. My background is that I was dead. No, it's not my background. My background is Haunted One, so
What's
I guess
the feature for Haunted One?
commoners will extend you every courtesy and do their utmost to help you. Unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them, they will take up arms to fight alongside you should you find yourself facing an enemy alone. So people are like courteous.
Okay. I think if you're trying to like, part of this is gathering information, right, on like these connections. So I think we can make an argument for that here. I'm gonna be kind of generous with that. So if we're doing a long-term project, what skill are you using to put this together?
I guess I want to pick survival, but I feel like investigation's pretty on the nose.
Yeah, that sounds like a great one to me.
So can I kind of help with like a downtime activity that I'm going to do with this potentially?
So you could work towards like advancing the same clock as part of like a long-term project if you wanted to kind of helping it finish that, if that makes sense.
It's kind of like a double whammy kind of thing that I want to do. So
Yeah, if it covers the same thing, I don't see why not.
Yeah. But let's resolve how much Olin gets done on this particular task.
Sure. So just straight investigation.
Yeah. How do I don't see where I come up with the rules for the DC on this.
Oh, it says work with the DM to determine the appropriate skill check. So I guess it's on you. It's at your behest. But
we'll just call it a DC 15 for now.
Okay, and if you start a project in which your background feature would aid you, you advance an extra segment with each DP spent, whether you pass or fail. So it's at least 2, maybe 3. Okay, so let's roll this. 16?
16.
It's a pass.
So that's 3 segments on this 4-segment clock. Like I said, next time we'll have like the all on the screen, so you'll kind of know what projects are ongoing, which have been completed and which haven't.
Yeah, and I can pop them onto the stream and everything.
So with that being said, Olin, you definitely get a lot of information for this board and get it started, and you started your training in acrobatics. So
Perfect. Easy.
we get like the montage of you jumping over like the rooftops with the spider, him looking like much more graceful than Olin at the start of this, but like you kind of like slowly picking up stuff, and then like cuts of you and probably Tobias and occasionally like other members of the party as you like put together stuff, and you kind of knocking on doors and talking to people and chatting to people throughout town. And then like slowly this little like diagram on a cork board coming together. Awesome.
Lovely.
Who wants to go next?
How many points do we need to use up?
2.
You have 2.
2? Okay.
I've got 1.
And you can put them like in the same clock if you want to like do 2 points in the same thing.
So I'm gonna kind of help. So I want to help Olin do that,
Okay.
but I also am more interested in establishing a network of informants.
Okay.
And I would kind of like to take a book from Varys from Game of Thrones and kind of like go use like the kids that are around that are, whether they're homeless or not.
Child labor.
Urchins.
And so start like making them urchins, bringing them treats, bringing them food, like things like
Gonna
that.
kill their families and leave them on the streets.
Hey, whatever it takes for the cause. I'm just kidding.
He's just
Please.
kidding, guys.
Or is he?
There's Armand hears about a new serial killer in town.
Oh, it's just-
Schrodinger's serial killer.
So I want to do that, but so I don't. That might be two separate long-term projects. I don't know.
Trying to think of how to do that. So we could set it up. So your goal is to set up an information network, and then like use that information basically to
help
like
all the kids.
complete your picture of.
But it's not the only
connections,
thing it's
so-
for, so that's why I don't know if it would be for that. And also, can I train expertise?
Currently, I'm gonna say no. You cannot train expertise. You can train new proficiencies, but expertise comes from certain class features or feats. But there's no way to train expertise.
Good to know.
Okay, so yeah, I think this would be two separate checks. If you wanted to spend a point for the info board thing, I would basically, there's only one segment left on that clock. So we could say any overflow you get from that, we can put towards like your information network clock.
Okay.
And I'm just going to set up a 4 o'clock for that. And you have your criminal, yeah, I'm guessing you're going to be using your criminal background to kind of like aid you in that.
Yeah, because that'll make it easier.
Cool.
I guess it'll make it easier.
Um,
Know what the
so
mechanic of that would be.
what skill will you be using for this check? Persuasion or?
Oh, for sure, persuasion.
Okay.
This is first step. Yeah.
So we'll call it a DC 15 for now. It's going to be my baseline DC for these.
Okay. Does my criminal contact do anything?
That'll give you an automatic segment on your like network clock, basically.
Okay, cool. Persuasion. 26.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. +8, brother.
All right.
I have a +9 to survival, so I get it.
So I'll say with that 1 point, you can complete the info board segment clock, and you'll have 2 other segments leading you halfway to kind of like setting up your info network. So you kind of like are dealing with some of these kids on the street. I'll say there's like one in particular by the name of Joni.
Joni?
Who seems to be kind of like a leader amongst like the orphans and urchins of the streets here. And yeah, Joni seems to be kind of like the one you have to kind of like gain the trust of to get this information. But you know, with some give and take, Joni like gives you enough information that you kind of like put some pieces together of this info board. Now, as far as this info board goes, I'm gonna use instead of having like a very clear like this guy's connected to this guy, I'm gonna use that to basically any questions you have about like people in the city. We can say kind of like connect to that. And I will say if you want to, you have kind of a lead in this Van Richten character that could kind of like maybe assist with pushing some of these words are hard.
Leads?
Pushing
Was
some of
there
these
other
clocks
leads?
forward.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, you can basically use this info board as like, does this person have any connection to this? And I will basically automatically tell you, or you can get advantage on like information that you're trying to figure out throughout the city because of this board exists.
Nice.
It'll be like a resource for you, working within all of Darkon, but mostly Martyra Bay specifically.
Let's go.
So you still have 2 more segments of your progress clock towards setting up this informant network. If you want to use your other downtime point to try and like complete that clock. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, let me check. You can train like armor, weapon, skills, tools.
Yeah, the only thing is you have to be able to like have somebody to train that from. Yeah.
Sure. And languages was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I know hardly any languages. Doesn't really matter. Would it be a downtime point if I figured out if there was any like potion shops or anything around? Or is that something you can do for free?
I'll say you can do that for free there.
The reason
Does-
I'm asking is because I don't know if I need to craft some stuff or like that or what.
I will say there is like a potion shop that sells like the kind of just like common basic healing potion. Selling them for like 50 gold a piece in the city. But beyond that, anything like more complex, they do not carry potion wise.
Okay, so we have found a place that has common healing potions.
Yeah,
That's good.
there's just like a little quirky like shop filled with kind of occult things that also sells just like a little rack of potions on their front counter.
Okay, cool.
No.
In that case, we don't have a bag of holding, do we?
Nope.
No.
No, we need one
We got
desperately.
some tall people with big bags then. And you have me who has no money now. I've spent all of my money, so I got some weight to spare.
Yeah, I'll hold off on the bag of holding for now. I do want to finish. I want to buy one of those potions with my 50 gold, and then I want to, finish my network. So
Cool.
do I have to use a different skill?
You do, but honestly, you don't even have to roll because since you're using your downtime point again, you'll automatically get 1 segment from your criminal background, and you automatically get 1 segment even if you fail.
Oh, perfect.
So that will.
If he succeeds, can he contribute to another clock that someone else makes if it's relevant?
We could do that.
Okay.
So maybe you could wait until somebody comes up with another thing to do the roll. I don't know how you want to do it, John. I was just thinking.
Let's go ahead and do the roll because this is mostly just about like setting up the information.
Okay.
Let's do. What's another skill that you might use for this task? You've kind of like talked to Jonah, you've used your persuasion, you've charmed the urchins.
So I want to start using my deception to try to get these kids into places.
Now
Okay.
lie to the children.
Why for
You
the
know-
children?
Yeah.
No, lie to
exactly,
them.
like,
You're going to happy homes.
especially anything close to the Baron's estates.
Cool. Love it. Go ahead and roll me a deception check. DC 15.
18.
18, so that completes the clock plus an extra segment that could be used for another clock.
So much
Cool.
charisma.
So, Tobias, Olin, y'all squared away. Y'all now have an info board of connections here in Martyra Bay. You get a better picture of the city and how it works. Tobias has set up an informant network of several urchins led by Joni throughout the city, including close to where you now know the Baron's home location is of a fortress known as the Black Tower. So, with that being said, I think Sam, you said you knew what you wanted to spend your points on.
I do. So Rosemary considers finding her sister work. So
Okay.
I'd like to spend at least 1 point just trying to gather information, maybe putting up missing posters. Trying to see if anyone has seen her sister.
So, long-term project, finding Basil.
Yes. She considers that work. Does
okay.
long-term take up 1 or 2 points?
It depends on how much you want to spend. It basically creates a clock. I think for finding Basil,
I don't need to do my second thing.
do you want to find out where Basil is vaguely or specifically?
Let's start with vague.
Okay, then I'll say it's a 4-segment clock.
Okay. Because my sisters also have a habit of finding me sometimes, so you know.
Sure. So you can spend a down point on that. Is there anything in your background feature that would aid you in this particular skill?
You know, let's see here. I mean,
Thanks for sticking with us, crew. I know this is not our most exciting episode. It's our first time using this downtime rules. But this is our
This is fun.
I love this shit. This is
So-
the kind of like in-depth world building stuff that has to happen, but now we get to condense it. Into, like, one nice,
message.
convenient
I should have.
section.
like
I should have
montages.
sent this
Yeah.
message earlier, asking a question.
Does Basil have a shaved head?
Does Basil have a shaped head? Shaved? What?
A shaped head?
The words are hard. Oh god, typing's harder.
Just wait until we play golf after this.
Oh no.
No.
No. Okay. Thank you. Then no, I don't have a specific background thing other than mother's unconditional love.
I will say you can use it to contact your sisters if you like are aware of them.
I mean,
Like-
I am
like you-
technically.
Aware.
I am aware of her. The whispers.
Let's call it
well-
familiar with them.
Okay. I'm not familiar with this sister, I assume.
No.
Okay. Then no, I don't have a background thing that would help.
Well, what kind of role do you think this is? Investigation? Or do you want to try and aim for a different skill?
So, oh god.
You could do like perception if you're just kind of like
I
going
was
around
gonna
city.
say perception or even insight when I'm asking people about her, making sure she hasn't told anyone to lie to me about her.
Okay.
They're both a +4.
Whichever you prefer.
Let's go
So-
with insight. Start off not trusting my sister. 7.
So that's one segment on your
Woo!
4-segment clock. Towards finding. You're asking questions, and you're not really having much luck. I think you hear.
Well, she looks like me. She might not sound like me. Sometimes they don't talk like this.
Yeah, I think you get like some vague responses around the docks of people who be like, "Yeah, maybe like you look kind of familiar," but you don't get much of a lead.
Okay.
But other than like a few hints that maybe someone has seen someone like that sort of looks like you.
Okay.
But
Gosh,
nothing.
she could have just seen me.
Do you want to spend your second downtime point pushing that clock forward or on something else?
On something else.
Okay.
You know, Tobias, you're real good at talking to people, and I don't got that gift of gab like you do. Do you think you could help me maybe like with some exercises to work on my speaking to people? Basically asking to train in the persuasion.
Rosemary, I
Yeah.
would love to teach you how to speak to people. It's been my
All right.
favorite thing we have ever done together.
So you can totally use your party members who are proficient in these skills to help train you in them. You will still have to spend the money. It's just like on materials or through like the
Oh.
process. Like it takes you like
a
Training.
mirror to talk into, and
Mhm.
like you need to get these books.
It's like the King's Speech.
It's for booze when you guys go into the bars.
Yeah.
yeah. Like
7 Habits
carousing.
of Highly Effective People. You know, all the books you need.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's a 6-segment clock for training. A new proficiency.
And wait, was that 50 gold? 50?
5-0.
Mhm.
It's all your money.
Oh, that's all my money. Oh, well, I'm not covering drinks anymore, I'll tell you that much.
So you use up your money and go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. You
Oh
get a-
boy. My specialty. Hey, it's better than I normally roll. That's average.
So you
11
do,
for those listening, not watching.
yeah, you do manage to click. You know, with a failure, you still push the segment clock forward. You have 5 segments left to earn your proficiency and persuasion, but you know you're starting to learn the basics.
Oh, so you spray the peppermint oil after. Huh. It's the one she really got stuck on.
What was the
Use
name
your
that
words,
they
not your
used
peppermint
for
oil, okay?
enhanced interrogation technique?
Yeah.
I take the 3 copper out of the swear jar and give it
Oh.
back.
Thanks, I need that. And I put it towards.
The 50 gold. Gotta edit the swear jar to have 0 copper in it.
Tracking it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me have these. Oh, that's fine.
There's a downtime to make money also.
Yes.
There is. We're gonna need to do it next time.
Which you do have your 2 rubies as well, which you guys, if you wanted, could sell the 2 rubies for a total of 400. If you wanted to like then split some of that amongst the party, you could totally do that.
I wouldn't mind if we're as a purely mechanical, practical thing. I wouldn't mind putting that into healing potions if we're gonna do the short rest, long rest thing.
How much does a regular healing potion cost?
50 gold.
50?
50.
So I used my money to buy one. We also have a superior healing potion that we got from somewhere, and an invulnerability and a gaseous form potion.
Are you sure those weren't left over?
Yeah, we got those.
Okay.
No, we got them from something.
From our pre.
Oh, from our session zero.
From pre-gaming.
Yes.
From pre-gaming.
Yes.
True.
All right, yeah. So, Buster and Sully, do either of you want to go next?
If you have what you want, you can go ahead and go. But if you need more time, I can go.
I'm thinking I'm just gonna work for money.
Ooh.
Good
The
plan.
only responsible one in the group.
Our
We're all
breadwinner.
like-
Yeah,
I was also gonna work.
I gave my 50 gold to a serial killer to teach her how to jump between rooftops.
I
You're-
gave mine to someone that uses child labor. I
Your
don't know which is
athletics training.
worse.
Just playing RuneScape.
Hell yeah, brother.
Just jumping on buildings.
it.
Okay. So, putting a downtime point into work. What kind of work is Sully looking for?
Excuse me, mercenary work?
Okay. Like maybe like security type stuff within the city.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. That sounds like. Let's see.
Hi.
Sounds you have more reputation. Show tools performance. Cool. So I'm gonna set 3 DCs here for you. You're gonna roll 3 times, and that determines how much money you make, or yeah, whichever DC. So it's 2d10 plus 5 for the DCs.
2d10.
Yeah, so these are your 3 DCs to beat, this 12, 15, and 17. I would say if you're doing like security work, probably doing something like athletics or intimidation.
Okay. Athletics or intimidation? We'll do athletics.
Okay, just go ahead and give me 3 athletics checks.
1, 2, 3.
Jesus.
Some
Oh
good ass
my
rolls.
god.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
She
so
really is our breadwinner.
We're fucking
Yeah.
rich.
so Sully, you end up like getting a few odd jobs working security, like kind of protecting freight around the docks. And you managed to get a bit of a reputation around town as like, somebody that's good to hire, that's very successful at what they do, and you get a total of 200 gold pieces.
Holy shit.
Whoa. That's gold pieces!
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
You bring in a good
That's-
haul.
That's only one downtime. I
One downtime point too, yeah.
So I can use my
Oh,
second
shit.
one to do work again?
Yeah, is that what you want to do?
Or do you want to become a new serial killer?
Do you want to make a cool bone lockpick?
Feed
Or
the
if-
hand.
Or if you want to start training a proficiency?
There's
Lots
lots of stuff to do. Fuck, I'm in fucking Karazhan. I'm losing my mind.
I think I'll train
was thinking of the whole time.
insight.
Train insight?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And are you getting somebody in the group to help you train this?
Which one of you has the highest insight?
I have a +4.
I have a
About
plus.
you.
What do I
Make
have?
sure you're,
plus
which of you are
7.
proficient
I
in
have a-
insight is the
I'm proficient and have a
I'm
+4.
proficient and I have a +6.
Jesus. Buster has
Buster.
the highest.
Yeah.
Technically.
Why don't we
Buster is
just all get together and
technically
have an insight class?
my bestie anyways, so
Bestie.
I thought
We'll go
thought
with Buster.
Rosemary was. Oh no.
Rosemary was until she told me not to question Mother,
Well,
and
'cause
now it's a
Rosemary
whole different
can't.
story.
Rosemary can't question Mother.
Rosemary,
Sully and
you could-
Buster.
You could be my bestie.
Oh, thanks.
It'll be
Sully
you
and Buster.
and me and Tobias and Buster and
Oh,
Armand
God.
and Sully.
Those are all my besties too. We have
Uh,
so much in common.
Beautiful. So you're gonna spend 50 gold for
50
to
gold?
do the training.
Okay, so what's 238 minus 50? Somebody do the math for
288
me.
or 188.
One.
188. 188.
Okay.
Scoopy doopy.
Yeah.
And so this starts a 6-segment clock, which, like I said, we'll have like all the clocks on the board next time. But I have a full page of clocks in front of me, handwritten. Go ahead and give me an insight check. And it's a DC 15. If you succeed, you get 1 segment. If you fail, if you succeed, you get 2 segments. If you fail, you get 1 towards your insight proficiency. Does not surprise me after those 3 like good rolls. But that's still 1 step towards your insight proficiency.
So, lesson 1, when Rosemary says something like, do not question Mother, usually she is speaking from her own learned experiences. She does not question Mother, so she speaks as if this is wide-reaching thing for everyone not to speak and question Mother, but she does not mean you cannot question Mother. It is what she has learned in her own experience and trauma.
Okay, but I specifically had questions, and she told me not to ask them.
she has learned through fear and control that if she asks questions of Mother, then bad consequences happen. It is not indictment on you asking questions of Mother. It is she knows I do not ask questions of Mother, so it is safe for you also not to ask questions of Mother.
Okay, but if I have questions and I ask them,
And then it just goes for a little while.
this is
Yeah,
why
what-
I failed. This is exactly why I failed.
This is why we're like, okay, it's gonna be a couple more lessons. All right.
The dice tell a story.
Yeah. Sully is
Uh,
like struggling, but she's starting to chew on like the beginning of insight into people. Love it. Buster.
Buster is also going to work. I think the first idea he goes to is sex work. Then he quickly decides, like, there's a lot of people dying in this town. Let's just be a shorter cook instead. It's gonna be easier. There's a lot less things to explain to people.
More exciting than the others.
It's gonna be infinitely more exciting, but I think it'd be easier for me to, like, not have to explain that right now. I'm just gonna be a shorter cook. So I think if we want to run this scene of, also I was thinking the only one bar that I know of is the Bloody Ghost. If there's anything there with Van Richten that as the group we need to run as a scene, we could do that. 2 birds, 1 stone. But otherwise I do my work there, and then I want to spend my other clock making a magic item. A common magic item with 1 piece of material, so it's not that bad, but it also will help the work.
Okay. Do you want to do the magic item first or the work first?
Sure, yeah, magic item works for me. The common magic item that I want to make is not going to have the person's name on it. It's going to be Buster's, but Howard's handy spice pouch. But instead, it's going to be Buster's handy spice pouch. Is a common magical item from Xanathar's, where you it's like a bag of holding where you just pluck in spice and pull out whatever you want. Recharges X amount of charges at dawn. And I want to use the spider silk to make the pouch. Something nice and magical and poignant. Is the spider silk magical?
It is. It has like some magic to it, yeah. Just because the arcane nature of the spider himself. It's not like
Perfect.
fully magical enough to work for this common magic item for sure.
Perfect.
Sweet.
So 1 material for a permanent common magic item, and it's a 2-segment clock with a DC of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is the check needed?
Basically creating. How are you making this?
I'm just weaving the spider silk very patiently and poignantly into a pouch.
Are you proficient with any tools that would help you in this particular task?
The only tool that I'm proficient with is the flugelhorn. So no.
You could sing it.
Unfortunately, no. Yeah,
Are you
I could.
not made for making with chef's tools?
Mm-mm.
Wait, what?
He just makes a mean borscht.
No, I mean, I could have like balanced things around to make that work. That because it makes sense for the backstory, but like in terms of just like the ready-made class backgrounds that I picked, it didn't have that. So like I'm more than willing to flip things around to make sure that the chef's tools work for the character. But the one thing that I picked, I think it was like Outlander or Sage or whatever, had 1 tool and it was a horn, and I just flavored it as a flugelhorn. So if we want to switch that to chef's tools, which would work for the established backstory, or if we want to keep it at that and I'll just use like sleight of hand to weave, it's up to you.
Rosemary crochets.
I can borrow crochet needles.
She has proficiency with weaver's tools.
Ooh. I don't know how what I could do to
Just borrow a rosemary.
Yeah, I mean, she can kind of like help you oversee and do this, but this is like something that Buster is.
Okay, so this is called a lock stitch.
I have little rabbit paw fingers. It is difficult for me to hold. I'm trying.
You have to knit 1 and then purl 2.
Okay.
Look at them technical terms. Look at
So-
this guy.
Buster, if you want to use sleight of hand, you can for this.
Cool. Just for the sake of, I want the spice pouch. I'm gonna use my inspiration to give myself advantage.
Okay.
Oh shit, I
Come on,
forgot I had it, my inspiration.
I want that pouch.
Nice.
Give me
That
the
that completes it. So you can add
Perfect.
the spice pouch to your inventory. What's the common item called again?
Heward's Hewar.
Howard.
Yeah, that's why I was
Heward.
like Heward. Heward's handy spice pouch.
I would just
Ooh.
It's
like
in
to,
Xanathars.
take a small tangent. I was looking at common magic items, and the list I pulled up had abracadabras, which is like a chest that you can speak. You speak like something that costs less than a gold. This is a very rare item, but you speak something that costs less than 1 gold, and when you open the chest, it has 20 charges. When you open the chest, it takes a charge and fills the chest with that thing. But I thought it said abracadabacus. I was like
An abacus?
like
How
an
does it count?
abacus.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it, like magic math? So now I think the next thing that I do
Math
is I'm gonna
is
make
magic.
an abracadabacus.
That's
I don't know what
very
I'm gonna
funny.
use it for, but
But you gotta have
Making
it.
sure we
I
have
ha-
the best deals.
I have to have an abracadabacus.
Beautiful. All right, so Buster, you make this pouch. You manage to sew it out of the spider silk. Has all kinds of magical little pockets for you to pull various spices out of, and you're gonna do some more cooking. So let's set these DCs. Oh, shit. Oh, wait.
Oh,
That's right.
Hold on a second.
them DC's jump.
Yeah, there's 2d10s, not
It's
2d10s.
2d10,
Oh, yeah,
brother.
you're right.
Excuse me. Yo,
I was like,
chill.
something
Um,
does not look right about this.
Please
Oh,
roll a
36.
36 with 2d10s. That's some
Still
good
got a
rolling.
21.
Jeez. And then
Alright.
2 nat ones.
Okay, so I get to pick the skills in order, correct?
Yeah, and you can use the same skill if you want.
But I can make an argument for what skills will work as a short order cook.
I mean, wisdom.
First off, sleight of hand. For knife work, being able to chop vegetables very quickly and efficiently, not cutting myself. Excuse the advantage. 15 beats the 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a 7. Okay.
To speak in
Um,
formal, I feel like that would be useful.
Yeah.
In a kitchen.
Second, perception. Keeping an eye out in the kitchen, making sure that I'm not going to step on somebody's toes. No one's going to bump into me. Nothing gets spilled. It's good to keep your head on a swivel.
Listening
behind
out
you,
for people
you
that
know.
stay behind.
Exactly. I spill soup on myself one day. That's
You
it's
forget
okay.
to stay behind.
Yeah, I know.
What a dick.
And then yeah.
DC 14 for this last one.
Acrobatics to be able to weave between people. No,
Okay.
that's a stretch. Survival to know like what
Survival.
what
Survival's-
materials have been spoiled. Like these potatoes smell off.
Yeah, survival works.
There we go.
Boom. So that's 2 successes. So with our downtime rules, that means you earn 100 gold pieces of like payment, tips. And I think with that too, you do learn of Detective Van Richten, who stays in a back room, a VIP room at the tavern here, never seems to leave. At the Bloody Ghost. And I'm trying to think of how the little ending scene here. I think perhaps like your job as a cook does lead to you being able to like set up a meeting with Van Richten.
Deliver him food in his room if he doesn't leave.
Yeah. And there's definitely like a lot of different ways we can kind of take things after downtime, but I kind of think starting next session, and we'll end it with meeting him. But starting next section, like with a conversation with Van Richten, might be a good way to go into things. So, you guys spend a week in Martyr Bay. You set yourselves up. Sully's in the town doing security work, knocking heads. Uh, we have Buster like cooking at the Bloody Ghost, trying to gain information. We have the info board that Olin has set up. We have Tobias kind of helping him out and setting up with his little like army of urchins and orphans gathering information.
On that note, can I give my extra wedge to Rosemary to help her find her sister?
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'll add one here to finding Basil.
The downtown system is actually so cool though. It's super awesome.
Very fun.
So and you find out that Van Richten only takes like appointments. He's a detective for what's called the Ray Agency, a detective agency in the city that the kind of local constabulary has contracted out because they're having trouble keeping track of like all these serial killers and hunting them down, and so the constabulary is kind of like rented out or contracted out multiple like detective agencies. But Detective Van Richten is kind of strange in that he never leaves the Bloody Ghost. So, to set the scene a little bit here, you arrive one night, a meeting set up. You open the door into this back room. There's a long table set up. Food already laid out as if in preparation for your meeting. The walls are adorned with like various sailor stuff. There's like a wheel on the wall, like a net hanging across with like a couple of like skeleton like bones of fish like up there as if like caught in the net. And standing at the end of the table as if waiting for you appears to be a young man, or at least the ghost of one. You see
Oh no.
a bluish hued figure. Your eyes can see right through them as he's almost like translucent. He looks at you. He's got like a thin face. He has slightly pointed elven ears, dark hair, a set of glasses, and a like long detective coat. And he smiles as you enter and says, "Ah, welcome. I'm Erasmus Van Richten. A pleasure to meet you." And with that, we'll end the session.
What the heck? They freaking killed Van Richten.
He's been dead the whole time.
Thank you all for joining us for
The
another
whole
misadventure. We will return next week, and we're going to be back on track where we will learn more about this strange ghost. Oh, one thing I should mention about this ghost, as you stare at them, one side of his face is covered with like blood dripping down the side.
Interesting.
Don't like that.
Checks out. Yeah.
It wasn't an important to detail to lead with.
Yeah.
Way to
Just a
bury
guy.
the lead.
Yeah. That's the kind of DM I am, always burying the lead.
By the way.
So, yeah, next time we will meet and find out more about Erasmus Van Richten, the bloody ghost for which the tavern is named.
Oh.
Oh, it's his tavern.
Until next
Holy
misadventure, where we'll find out if our players thrive, survive, or take a dive. Thank y'all for being here. Take it easy, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.